In this video, we'll go over a foam rolling series. We'll start off working the glute. Sitting on the foam roller, placing that right knee over the left ankle. We're just going to drop that right knee in just to get a little bit more of that glute surface on the making contact with the foam roller. There's usually about 2 points here. There's a point a little bit lower on the hip, closer towards the ischial tuberosity or the sit bone, and then usually a little bit higher up on the more towards the top of the ilium or the iliac crest. Again, what we want to do is hold that position. When you feel that tight, tense point, just hold there. Focus on a good, nice 3 to 5 deep breaths, and you want to allow that muscle to release, allow that knot to release. So here we've just taken that, brought that left foot over the right knee, so we're getting the whole right side, that lateral outside of the right upper leg. Getting right now a little bit closer to the knee, so there's 2 spots usually here, one a little bit closer to the knee and then one a little bit further up on the hip. So we're getting the IT, the TFL, the piriformis, that whole line that usually gets super tight on the outside of a lot of us. So again, finding that point of contact, finding that tender spot, letting it sit there on the foam roller, letting your body release into the foam roller, focusing on, again, a nice 3 to 5 nice deep breaths. So now we're just going to roll over, dropping that knee, so dropping that left knee over to get a little bit more on the quad, so on kind of the lateral aspect of the quad, or the vastus lateralis. Again, usually there's about 2 points here that are tender, one that's a little closer to the knee, again, and one that's a little higher up on the hip, more towards the hip flexor and the top of the of where the quad is. Again, 3 to 5 nice deep breaths, really trying to let that body weight sink into that foam roller, letting those muscles unwind and release. Here I'm just rolling back a little bit, trying to get a little bit deeper of an angle so I can get a little bit more into the hip flexor, again, where that erectus femoris, so that big muscle in the quad, comes into the hip. Now we're just going to roll it right over, so I'm staying on the same leg, just rolling that foam roller over and getting to the medialis, or the inside of that quad. Again, there's usually a spot a little closer towards the knee, or where the medialis is. 3 to 5 nice deep breaths, letting it release, and then again going a little higher up. So I'm going where the medialis, usually keep the knee a little bent, like at a 90-degree angle. And if you go a little higher up on the groin, if you straighten that leg out a little bit, sometimes it'll get a little more into that thigh, a little closer towards the groin. Now I'm just going to roll through again, kind of hitting those main points to kind of establish the flow. Again, glute first. Then we're going to extend that right leg, bring that left leg over the top, get the outside of the lateral aspect of that thigh. Then we're going to drop that knee, continue to drop that knee over, get the outside of the quad, then just switching over, getting the inside of the quad, inside of that thigh. So again, you just do that on the other side. From here, what I'm going to do is just roll down. This is great just to loosen up the back, the lats, the whole thoracic spine. I usually start off just rolling back and forth, just as you're seeing, and then coming into the lats a little bit deeper. If you angle, imagine like your hands are hands of a clock, kind of angling over to about 10 or 11 o'clock. You can get a little bit deeper of an angle on that lat, the latissimus dorsi. What I usually do is you'll stop. There's usually a point that's just below the shoulder blades, and another point that's a little bit lower, more towards the kidney area. Just be careful. This area tends to be usually a little tender. Just be mindful of it. But again, at the same time, feels great. Really helps to open up the lats. And then again, just to finish off, what I'll do is just come back to center and just open up in those shoulders a little bit as you continue to roll on that foam roller. Just doing that a few times. Really helps open up the lats, open up the shoulders. What I usually do when I finish off with foam rolling, just coming down, just laying on the foam roller almost as if it was like a yoga bolster, and just letting your chest open up, letting that whole thoracic area of the spine open up. Your chest, shoulders usually tending to be tight after a pretty intense workout. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for checking in.